Analisa Six here with the Lady of Leisure and the Sober Curator to bring you the March 2024 horoscope for the zodiac sign of Libra. Hi, Libra. How are you? I'm back. I'm here doing the horoscopes. Oh my God, you can see my dog right there. He's passed out. He was dreaming just a second ago and barking, or not barking, but doing that like little bark, bark, bark thing. And he's so cute. He's so precious. I'll keep him in the background here in case he does anything cute. All right, we're going to get started here. I'm happy to be back doing horoscopes. Also, I will mention I am starting to do one-on-one readings again for tarot and astrology. So if you want to book a reading with me, feel free to email me at analisa6@ladyofleisure.com. All right, so we start out every March in Pisces season, but this March is special because we have so many planets in Pisces. We have the sun in Pisces, we've got Saturn in Pisces, Mercury in Pisces, and Neptune in Pisces. And I'm very aware that the sun is a star. In astrology, we just seem to call everything planets. Asteroids, planets, planetoids, stars. We'll call planets stars. You know, it's just not, you know, it's astrology. So the area of the chart that this is hitting for you, Libra, is the area that is the sixth house that has to do with our relationship to our health, our daily routine, and also how we're of service in the work that we do with our community and also our job. Pisces energy is mutable water. It rules the ethereal, imaginative, spiritual realm. It's also tied to our subconscious. And Pisces itself is a sign of servitude. It wants to be of servitude when it comes to spirituality, art, even, Virgo and Pisces can also have a lot to do with wanting to be of service when it comes to addictions. So that's something that could be highlighted for you. You could be thinking a lot about your own personal relationship to addiction, or whether or not you feel like you have a handle on your mundane reality, your daily routines. Do you feel like things are kind of getting away from you a little bit? Your health is also highlighted here. And the sixth house, when it's highlighted, there's an emphasis on needing to really take care of ourselves and needing to focus on what we're putting in our bodies. And in Pisces, our spiritual health is also highlighted. So Saturn here is going to bring in some lessons around how what you've been doing in the past is working or not working for you. So if you're somebody that's really health conscious, I'll be the first one to say being health conscious doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have good health forever. I, was somebody that was doing a lot of the right things and still ended up having a bunch of health issues. And I know that there's a lot of people that feel that way because health is so much bigger than just what we put in our bodies. It's bigger than exercise. It's bigger than what we eat. It also has to do with our emotional and mental well-being, right? Our mental health can impact so much of our physical health. And that's something that I've been spending the last few years really learning and understanding because I was doing so much. And I also thought I was doing a lot for my mental health, being somebody that has a lot of tools in that. But I think the pandemic did a number on a lot of us, and it kind of blew our nervous system out. It made a lot of us very ungrounded. And when we're in fight or flight mode or survival mode, we have, it's really hard for our bodies to process our environment in a constructive way. So once we get put into fight or flight mode, it's not uncommon if we're staying in that state for our health to go south, even if we think we're doing all the right things, even if we're eating properly or exercising. The way that our brain is processing the environment can definitely impact our health. So I bring that up because all this Piscean energy here in the sixth house, it can mean that there's deeper things going on that are impacting your health. Pisces energy is like a sponge when it comes to absorbing the environment and emotions of other people and places, things, animals, that kind of stuff. And so when we have a lot of Piscean energy, there's not a lot of boundaries. There's not a lot of containment over that. So sometimes what we think too is our emotions or our feelings could actually be that of something else that we're absorbing in the environment. So also creating energetic boundaries around ourselves and cleansing out energy of other people is also really important for maintaining good health, especially if we work in any kind of industry where we are around a lot of people. If you're a Libra that is in a service industry, and you are constantly, or, customer service or service industry like food, hospitality, those industries, you are susceptible to absorbing the energy of other people all the time. and it can be really draining, and it can impact your health. Libra people tend to be really sociable and tend to really enjoy being around a lot of environments like that. And so it can also be rejuvenating to be in social environments or work in social environments that you enjoy. But there's a balance with that, right? And also being in the right social environment can dictate whether or not that's healthy for you. I mean, if I'm in a social environment that is really rejuvenating for me, it helps me so much versus something that feels depleting and draining or just not like the right environment. The health issues that I have, it's unfortunate because a lot of times, even when I'm doing things that I enjoy doing, it's still just being overstimulated, I guess I would say, can still be really draining. I'm really impacted by overstimulating environments now. And so I've had to learn how to kind of balance that out. A lot of times if I'm going to go do something like that, I need kind of like the next day needs to just be a quiet me day. And that's very common with Pisces dominant energy. Pisces energy, a lot of times wants to feel all this connection, but then it's so intense, the level that Pisces energy feels it at, that there's a recovery, like there's a need for isolation and recovery afterwards. And so even though you're Libra, the area that Pisces is highlighted in the chart really elevates that energy for you. We also start out March with Venus and Mars in Aquarius, and the area of the chart that this is hitting for the Libra horoscope is the area that has to do with your creative expression. So Pluto also entered this area of the horoscope for you, and so there might be this transformation process happening over the next 20 years of how you express yourself creatively, artistically, romantically, how you share yourself with other people, and how you also experience joy. Like the things that you maybe have felt in the past might be going through some kind of transformation process, and that's beginning now. Venus and Mars here also elevates that. So Venus and Mars are kind of dancing together throughout the beginning of March in this place in the Libra horoscope, in this placement. And you are experiencing maybe kind of this desire to redefine how you express yourself and how you connect with yourself in that way. You might also be craving more validation, more attention from romantic partners, but also from the world or from people that you value in that way. So if you are a creative person and you're creating art or music or theater or writing, some kind of thing, you might be really looking or seeking validation from the people that you respect. And I kind of went off on a tangent in one of the horoscopes about the value of validation for us as humans. Like we are here to experience this reality with other people, and that Libra too being the sign that rules partnership, there's a need for Libra to have that connection, that mirror connection of feeling seen and also seeing somebody else. And that's kind of something that Libra looks for. Like, where am I receiving that, connection? And that connection is important, but there's also a part of it that can be really unhealthy where we come at everything from a place of comparison or seeking it for the wrong reasons, getting like these quick dopamine hits where it's not really about this authentic connection. It's about ego validation in a way that can be kind of superficial. And so I think that's kind of part of this Venus Mars journey for you, is what is authentic connection? What is healthy validation versus validation that maybe kind of starts to feel like a drug addiction or a bottomless pit, that kind of stuff. That's a theme with these transits. March 9th, we're going to have Mercury entering Aries, where Mercury is going to be until May. And Aries energy is highlighted right now in the chart and in the chart about all of us. Like Aries is I need to eat some food. So my brain is starting to go. I'm going to have some food after I do this video. So I apologize. I also I get in my brain kind of ahead of myself, and then I have to backtrack, which kind of makes me jumble my words. But we have right now in the sky, North Node in Aries conjunct Chiron in Aries. So as a collective, we're all experiencing this energy, but you are very impacted by that because Aries is the sign that opposes you. So in the chart, Libra's here, Aries is here. Well, it's more like Aries here, Libra here. And we are, when we have a lot opposing us in the sky, it can be uncomfortable because we're getting brought into the opposite of what's comfortable for us. So Libra represents the 7th house. It represents partnership. all this Venusian energy, harmony, there's the shadow side that can be kind of codependent, there's the empowering side that can be fairness, equality, justice. And Aries is the opposite, rules the first house of the self and rules more like, what do we want? How are we processing things as an individual? What is our relationship to ourselves away from the other? What is our relationship to identity? And so for the Libra horoscope, it's interesting because Aries actually falls into the 7th house in the horoscope. So relationship is still highlighted for this time, but it's highlighted in a way of how are you still an autonomous individual person within the context of a relationship? And so how do you hold that autonomy while still making a relationship work? How are you able to advocate for yourself and what your needs are within a relationship? And when Mercury comes into the mix on March 9th, and it's here until May, that's highlighted with that North Node and Chiron journey of how are you able to advocate for yourself, who you are, what you want in the context of your partnership dynamics, and how do you do it in a constructive way? Mercury in Aries isn't always constructive. It's very reactive. It can be very explosive when it's wanting to get a point across, whereas Libra isn't that way. Libra tends to be more passive. So sometimes the Aries energy can be really helpful to Libra because you have to learn how to be more direct and more honest and more confrontational. And so this could be positive for you in that sense that it's empowering you to do that, but there's still a lot of room for that to come out the wrong way because it's not grounded, it's reactive. So we're all going to be under this influence and having to navigate what does healthy confrontation look like, what does healthy reactivity look like versus reactivity where we're embarrassed afterwards and we're like, ooh, I should have slowed that down and not said those things. So there's a lot of those themes coming up. March 10th, we also are going to have a new moon at 20 degrees of Pisces. The area that's hitting for the Libra horoscope is where we were talking about at the beginning of this, that 6th house. New moons are a great time to set intentions. So this is a really positive time for you to set intentions around your health, your relationship to your daily routine. I will say one of the strong, and this is not all Libras, okay? Not all Libras. I know Libras that have a lot of Capricorn placements and they're great at time management. But I will say a lot of Libras that lack a lot of earth energy in their chart tend to have a lot of issues with time management and structure or organization. I also know a lot of Libra dominant people who are on the ADHD or ADD spectrum. And so sometimes, the 6th house qualities, like your daily routine and how you structure things, or your ability to focus and your ability to have attention in certain ways, can be very hard to manage for a Libra dominant person. So this new moon in the 6th house, it could be a really good opportunity for you to set intentions around what are some ways that you can focus on that area of your life, the organizational part of your life, the structure, the time management. Are there things that, maybe, I don't think there's a right or a wrong way. Like we have the capitalist, like 9-to-5 structure, but there's plenty of jobs and different lifestyles that promote other types of living. You don't have to be on those schedules. You can find a schedule that works for you and your lifestyle. And I think that part of like healthy time management is accepting who we are, but also knowing like what's working for us, what's not working for us. So if we have goals to wake up earlier because it's something we want, that's great. But if we're just waking up earlier because somebody else thinks we should wake up earlier, like, is that really something that we need to try to live up to? So I think the setting intentions thing, it should really be something that's authentic to what you want and also what works for the life that you actually want to live and cultivate in a way that makes sense to you. I have some friends who have Libra heavy placements where I just know they're always going to be late. Like that's just, they don't know how to structure their lives in a way where they're not late. And so as a friend that knows this, instead of getting mad every single time that this happens, I just factor in an extra 20 minutes every time I meet up with these friends because I know that's what's going to happen, so, and I'm saying that as somebody that loves Libra energy, but it's like, instead of me getting upset every time, because I have strong, like I tend to be on time, I just do that. But, if you're a Libra and you're like, I really want to work on not being late all the time, maybe when you make plans with people, knowing you're going to be late, you factor that in, factor your lateness into making your plan, make a point to say, okay, I'm going to make a plan at 10:30, knowing that I'm going to be late. So really I should make the plan at 11 and then tell myself it's at 10:30. I don't know, whatever you have to do. Those are just some examples of the new moon hitting the sixth house. You could also have fitness goals, health goals, diet goals. Those are, and by diet, I don't mean like going on a diet in a problematic way. I mean, just improving, if you've been eating too much junk food and you want to eat more vegetables, like that could be a goal for this new moon, setting intentions towards that stuff. Shortly after our new moon on the 12th, Venus is going to join the Pisces party. And so this is also really positive for those new moon intentions, because Venus is going to join the sixth house and she's going to come bless you in this area in terms of making those changes. She's exalted in Pisces, so she does really well here and she'll be here for the rest of the month. On March 19th, we enter Aries season. So again, the opposite of Libra, and it's highlighting that area of the Libra horoscope that has to do with partnership. So your relationships are getting a big light on them, for better or worse. It's that light where it's like the sun brings vitality and energy, but we still have Chiron here. So if there's any wounds around partnership, relationship dynamics, those might come up and need to be worked on. The next transit of note is that Mars is going to be joining the Pisces party on the 23rd. And so once Mars enters that sixth house energy with Venus, Mars is great for action-oriented kind of behaviors, so if you really want to get gung-ho about these new routines with your health and with your, kind of mundane structure, Mars is here to amplify that. But when it comes to health, Mars can also bring up some health problems. And so we need to also be really mindful with what we're doing, what we're consuming, because, while Mars is passing through the sixth house, we could experience just some challenges there. And Mars is going to be passing through Pisces for the rest of March and then all the way through April. So, that's something to just be aware of. On March 25th, we have our lunar eclipse at 5 degrees of Libra, of your sign. So eclipse energy is hitting hard and it's affecting you in the identity sector. So the identity house. I don't know why I keep saying, I've started saying sector during these, and I don't know why. It's the house, the first house. So we have the sun highlighting the area of relationship and partnership, and then we have the moon highlighting the area of identity. And then this eclipse is going to be, whatever gets started here, we're going to be feeling. And then we've got that Mercury retrograde shortly after happening in Aries. So the story is going to be happening. So, you might be in a place during this eclipse where you're really reflecting on who you are to yourself, what you want, and what you need, and whether or not the relationships in your life are really supporting that. And this might be a time where you feel like you're ready to move on in your life towards free, autonomy and freedom and expansion away from a relationship. Or maybe you're at the precipice of starting a new relationship and you're getting really clear on what you want out of that new relationship. So those are big themes for you during this month. All right, Libra, I think I'm going to leave you there. You can find me at theladyofleisure.com and thesobercurator.com. If you want to book a one-on-one session with me, again, you can email me at analisa6@ladyofleisure.com. I have that in the description box. And I wish you the best of luck. I will see you next month.